welcome to the onboarding series for V-Ray for Grasshopper. This series is dedicated to demonstrating how you can visualize your algorithmic designs without ever leaving Rhino's powerful parametric modeling software. Be sure you're caught up with all of the previous episodes to get off to a flying start. You can find them in the playlist to the right. In this episode, you'll get an overview of how to use and set different types of lights and light rigs. They're all accessible from the lighting panel of the V-Ray tab. When working with lights, it is always a good idea to enable the lens effects from the VFB right from the beginning. You can adjust the bloom and glare effects later. Let's start by creating a rig sun and connect it to the render component via the light rig input. There are two inputs for lighting, one for light rigs and another for lights only. The V-Ray sun and sky included in this rig work as a connected system. The light color and intensity change for both sun and sky based on the sun's position. The rig's sun can adopt the position of the Rhino document sun, or be manually set with points for the sun's position and sun target. In addition, you can control the overall intensity of the sun rig. By using a divided curve, you can set the preferred sun position and even animate the sun path. Now, let's take a look at the V-Ray dome rig, which we'll create from the lighting panel. Dome light uses a 360-degree high dynamic range image, or HDRI for short, to light the scene. To select an image of your choice, open Show Controls and pick one from your local drive. To apply it, simply replace the sun rig with the dome rig in the render component. Let's connect another HDR image, in this case a daytime image. Keep in mind that materials and HDRs cannot be downloaded from Cosmos and Grasshopper and won't be visible there. Instead, this HDR image is downloaded from the Cosmos browser in V-Ray for Rhino. You may need to adjust the camera exposure for different HDRI images. You can also adjust the rotation with a slider from 0 to 360 degrees. Now let's assign a nighttime HDR image from Chaos Cosmos. I think it looks okay with the same exposure value. If you disagree, you can tweak it using the camera ISO slider. Now let's bring some artificial lights to the definition. Let's create a V-Ray light rectangle from the lighting panel. We'll use the data component to gather different light sets, then connect to render via light input and click Show Controls from the context menu. The shape could be set to rectangle or disc. Next, let's set the size of light by entering the U and V values. Now we're going to position the light using a plane, in this case, multiple XY planes. This will create multiple instances of the same light. Next, we need to set the intensity. Light visibility can be turned off if needed. And now, let's create a V-Ray light sphere from the lighting panel. We'll add it to the lighting data component holding down the Shift key. Then, click Show Controls, and you'll notice that some of the controls are the same as those of the rectangular light. We'll set intensity and radius, and then set positions for the lights. We can set the color swatch if we want the same color on all the scattered lights, or we can set a series of colors if we want color variation in the lights. The other types of lights have mostly the same controls. You can adjust them in the same way. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a better understanding of how to use, set up, and work with light rigs and artificial lights. Take a look at the other videos explaining how to set materials and cameras, as well as how to render stills and animations.